in this crazy market, if it goes to 10%, then you are just cornered and you have to go with the home rate. Versus with this temporary buy down, you'll have the mental peace. The second biggest advantage is, let's say you refi. Let's say you refi after 8 months. So then what happens to this $26,000? In an arm, if you pay this, the money is gone in thin air. If you refinance, then this money is gone. This amount, the $26,000, whatever is unused portion of it goes towards your principal. It's a win-win for the borrowers, and also it's a win for the sellers. Good morning. I get asked a lot about these new buy-down programs because the market mortgage interest rate has been very high. A lot of these lenders are trying to come up with creative ways how to save the monthly payment to the borrowers. So people who've been renting and who want to jump into the market, this is a great market to negotiate a very good price. But then when you negotiate a good price, even though the price is lower, since the mortgage rates are very high, your monthly payment will be very high also. So that's why there is this program called temporary buy down. You might have heard about it. In compared to arms, which is like adjustable rate mortgages, this temporary buy down is a terrific opportunity for homeowners to take advantage of. But before you jump in and say, okay, I want the temporary buy down versus arm, you need to understand the what the program is and how it's going to work. I made this video for the real estate agents so that they can talk about it effectively to their clients. But if you are a homeowner, it's good to have this information in your back pocket so that you know exactly how to decide. First is, traditionally, arms or the adjustable rate mortgages, always the rates were really below compared that to that of a fixed rate mortgage. But lately, with the market risk or something, with the dynamics of the market, the arm rates are not as competitive as they used to be. So now it doesn't make sense to go for the arm because you are almost getting the same rate as a fixed rate mortgage. But if you go for arm again after 7 years or 5 years, if the mortgage rates are still high, or even if they go to 10%, then you are at a disadvantage. So I would not look at arms in this market, but still you have to understand the other options before you jump the gun on fixing your mortgage rate. So the way this temporary buy down works is, you'll have a temporary time wherein the interest rate is lower. Okay, so there's a lot of options. Like there is a 3-2-1 buy down, they call it 2-1 buy down, 1-1 buy down, and 1-0 buy down. Effectively, to oversimplify it, 3-2-1 buy down is, you'll have the low interest rate for the first year, which is 3% below the market. So second year you'll have 2% below the market, and then after that it's 1% below. Then you'll graduate to whatever the market rate it is today is going to do it from fourth year onwards. So then going to 2-1 buy down, basically you'll get respite for 2 years. The first year it's lower, and then so on and so forth. So 1-1 buy down and 1-0 buy down. I want to share this spreadsheet with you so that you can understand how it works. First is in the example. Okay, this is how it works. So the 3-2-1 temporary buy down example, right? So hypothetically, let's say today's interest rate is 6.75. Let's assume it's 6.75. It is lower, but let's assume it's 6.75 for this discussion. So when you go for the temporary buy down, the year one rate will be 3.75, right? Year two will be 4.75, year three will be 5.75, and then year 4 through 30 is 6.75. So effectively what happens is, this program is especially beneficial for people who are renting and now they are going into a home, and this is going to graduate them into this new payment slowly, right? First year you'll have lower payment, and in this example wherein we put 3.75 as the interest rate that you'll have the first year, so your monthly savings will be almost $650. So year 2 will be 444 savings per month, year 3 will be 227. So all this will come with a cost. Okay, it's not free that you'll get this great rate. So that's why when you are strategizing your mortgage, it's very important that you talk to a mortgage lender who is knowledgeable on all these options so that you can pick the best option. So this spreadsheet, there is a lot of numbers here, but just work with me. I'm going to show you exactly the numbers that you have to pay attention. So in this example, let's say the loan amount is 600. Um, Actually, the purchase price, let's assume it's 750. Okay. Let's assume the purchase price is 750, the loan amount is 600, the interest rate is 6.5 in this example. And then what we are trying to do is we are trying to show you the cost it takes for each of the buy down options. If you go with a 1-0 buy down, right, meaning that you only need this respite for 1 year. You think in 1 year the mortgage rates are either going to go down or you will be in a better financial situation. That means you just need relief for 1 year. So in this option, if with the buy down you'll get it for 5.5 for the first year, but then pay attention to this cost here, the concession required, which is 0.617%, meaning that the total buy down cost or the cost that you need to have this option is around $4,600. So who's going to pay for this $4,600? There is combination of it. You can either use the seller to pay for this. It's called seller concessions. You could have either your real estate agent or the listing agent do concessions for you, so you can use that, or you can pay for it. But if the third party is paying for it, the cost is different versus you paying for it. In this 110 buy down example, you see that the total cost is 4,600 if they pay for it, versus if you are going to pay for it, it's 5250. It's not much. Still, there is a difference in pricing. So that's something that you have to pay attention to. Let's say you want relief for 2 years, right? So then you go with 1-1 buy down option. In this 1-1 buy down option, uh, basically you just want to extend the lower rate for 2 years, the same rate for 2 years. That is 1-1 buy down. Okay. So in this example, 5.5% for year 1 and 2. When you notice, if you want to pay out of your pocket, it's going to cost you $9,000 for this option for this example. But if the third parties are going to pay, that the seller or somebody is going to pay, it will be 9,200. So there is a difference in pricing. Then let's say you want to do 2-1 buy down, meaning that you want to have a lower payment for the first year, and second year you think you'll be better off and it's going to graduate. So the first year the payment will be at 4.5 and the second year is 5.5. Then the for this also, if you notice, it's about $13,655.75 if a third party pays for it, versus if you have to pay for it as a borrower, it's 14,250. Not much difference, but there is difference as to who is paying for it. Another temporary buy down option like 3-1 buy down. So year one it will be 3.5, then 4.5 and 5.5, and then year 4 onwards it will be 6.5, which is a market rate. So to get to this 3-1 buy down, look at the cost. It's going to cost 26,833 to get this opportunity, and then if you have to pay, it's 27,000. So you have to think and make the calculation. $26,000 is what you are basically fronting the money to bring this low payment for you for 3 years, right? So the way it works is, a lot of times the sellers are unwilling to reduce the price by $26,000, but for some reason they are willing to offer this as concession. So for you real estate agents who are negotiating, you can get the seller concessions, wherein the seller is motivated to sell the property, and the seller is able to see that if they pay this, then the borrower is able to afford. So it's going to bring both parties together much closer to the negotiation table. So this is a good opportunity for the real estate agents to consider this as they try to negotiate it. So then the way it works is, okay, if you consider the arm and the buy down, right, the differences again. If you do the arm rate, right, so there is no graduated year 1, year 2, year 3. Basically you'll have lower payment for a certain period of time, and after that it adjusts to whatever the market. Let's say you go with 5-year arm, then in the 6th year is going to just adjust it to whatever the rate. So in this crazy market, if it goes to 10%, then you are just cornered and you have to go with that higher rate. Versus with this temporary buy down, you'll have the mental peace that at least you know what the interest rate will be. So that's one advantage of this temporary buy down. The second biggest advantage is, let's say you refi after 8 months, because we are anticipating the rates to drop. So then what happens to this $26,000? In an arm, if you pay this, the money is gone in thin air. If you refinance, then this money is gone. But the biggest benefit of this temporary buy down is, this amount, the $26,000, whatever is unused portion of your savings, it goes towards your principal. So that's a huge advantage I see with this temporary buy down programs. It's still, I feel it's like a marketing packaging deal that the lenders are throwing at the borrowers to encourage them to take a mortgage. But it's a win-win for the borrowers, and also it's a win for the sellers. If you have more questions on this temporary buy down programs, reach out to me. I'll be happy to help. Take care.